The next section we're going to talk about is the skeletal system in terms of the whole structure. Obviously, the skeleton gives rigidity and form to the body. One of the statements you'll hear people say is we're just a bag of bones. And our muscles use the skeleton they're attached to make our body move. But that's what gives us support, because if we didn't have bones there, we couldn't move as well. So they absolutely work together. Excuse me. The human skeleton consists of 206 bones and is divided into two parts: your axial skeleton versus your appendicular skeleton. Next page, we're going to see that the axial skeleton consists of the bones found around the axis or midline of the body. It's kind of your trunk. All right? So that would include your skull, your vertebral column, your sternum, and your ribs. So that's all the basically your trunk skeletal bones. Versus your appendicular, think appendages, anything like your arm bones, your leg bones, and so forth, and anything extending off your fingers, your toes, and so forth. The axial skeleton is your main structure. I mean, we talk about core training a lot with training, and your core is your structure. That's going to give you support. So that's how those things tie in together. It also provides protection to all your major organs, your heart, lungs, your central nervous system, and so forth. You talk about spinal cord injuries. It's huge a part of the axial skeleton. There's a picture basically of the axial skeleton in addition to the skull with that, obviously separated. Within the axial skeleton, we break down into the actual sections of the spinal column. You have 7 cervical vertebrae, which lie right here. We have 12 thoracic vertebrae, which is right here, your mid-back. You have 5 lumbar, or your base of your lumbar is kind of your tree trunk of your spine, we call that. Your sacrum, which are actually 5 fused bones. You see a lot of sacral area that connect with the lumbar and sacrum connect. A lot of injuries there you'll see with lower back injuries, a lot of originate in that area. And then your coccyx, which is your tailbone, in other words, and they are fused vertebrae. So be familiar with these 5 sections of the skeletal system in terms of the axial skeleton. Just as is redundant, we already did that. Okay, so the appendicular skeleton, you can refer to this, kind of gives you really specifics in terms of how many bones. Your phalanges are going to be your fingers and your toes, and then you're talking about your metatarsals versus tarsals. In terms of your feet bones and ankle bones, patella, your kneecap, tibia, fibula, which are your arm bones, and so forth. So be familiar with these. These are basically showing your appendicular skeleton. Here's just another example where you can see the actual whole skeletal system as a picture, as a reference.